Welcome to the show. I am Mark Farzetta. This show is presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Studios. What the hell is happening to our Philadelphia sports scene? Now nobody's going to be back with the Eagles? Nobody? Yesterday, we started talking about these tweets from Javon Hargrave. We talked about this tweet from CD Deuce. All love Philly. Hey, go get your bag, bro. Go get paid. Hey, dog, all that stuff. All that. Now nobody's coming back. Adam Schefter was on 97.5 yesterday, and he was talking about who's going to be back with the Philadelphia Eagles. And you know who it seems like is not going to be back with the Philadelphia Eagles? Javon Hargrave, CD Deuce, and James Bradberry. Three very productive members of your defense, to say the absolute least. And you know what? What stings the most? It's that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was only getting started as a safety in the NFL, and he played that well and was that versatile. I know when we talk about Jonathan Gannon's defense, we don't like to talk about versatility or adjustments, or he just does the one thing and this is all he does. He made a couple of adjustments, and one of the adjustments he made was having a safety actually play more aggressive than we saw the previous year. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was playing a position similar to that of Malcolm Jenkins and similar to that of Brian Dawkins, even, just in terms of style of play, the way he was utilized on the football field. See him do that for 1 year, and the Eagles being the team to say, hey, you know what, this guy can go back to play safety like he did in college. No problem. Let's see how he performs. 6 interceptions. You see him in the backfield every so often. You see him in great coverage. You see him coming up and making hits. You see him making plays at the line of scrimmage. It's something the linebackers should be doing. And he's the guy making those plays. He was a great last line of defense. And here I am already saying was like he's already gone. I still have hope. I still have faith that they're going to sign one of those three players. Howie's got to have something in his back pocket to bring back one of these three guys. The guy that would probably be the least surprising would be Javon Hargrave, because he's a defensive lineman, and the Eagles always invest in the trenches. The guy that I'm not surprised at all about is James Bradberry. Anytime a player references the money they're going to be getting in one of their final interviews of the season, like when he was getting interviewed in his locker during clean-out day, and he was talking about how, I'd love to come back to Philadelphia at the right price. Okay, well, you're not going to be back. But here's the question I have for everybody. First off, hit me up in the chat here. Whether or not you have faith that you're going to sign any of these guys, bring back any three, James Bradberry, Hargrave, or CD Deuce. If you have faith that you're going to bring in any of them, if you're going to keep any of them, or you think they're all gone, you think they're no longer going to be playing for the Philadelphia Eagles, hit me up in the comments with that. Here's what else I want to know. Do you still have faith in Howie Roseman, or is this the moment where the people that have remained as Howie haters, even though the guy has taken the Eagles to the Super Bowl twice in the last 5 years with different quarterbacks and different head coaches? Or is this where you're going to abandon ship, or is this where the Howie Roseman haters are going to resurface and start screaming at the top of the lungs? I told you it was an anomaly. It was luck that you got 2 Super Bowls in 5. I'm keeping the faith in Howie. I am keeping the faith in Howie Roseman. Not just for the fact that he made it to the 2 Super Bowls, but how he made it to the 2 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. I also have faith that if he's going to let these guys walk, there's another deal down the line. I know it never looks good when the report first comes out, and we still have a draft to get through. We still have all of free agency. We still have the franchise tag. That just wrapped up 2 days ago. We still have time here. But the report's out now. A week till free agency starts. What's Howie's move going to be? I still think there's a chance in signing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I still think there's a chance in signing Javon Hargrave. I don't think there's much of a chance in bringing back James Bradberry. These are 3 defensive contributors last year that were key to your success. And Javon Hargrave was a Pro Bowl snub a year ago. And then he goes and gets 11 sacks this year, same as Brandon Graham. He has himself a hell of a year. I mentioned already the interceptions with CD Deuce. James Bradberry was a guy that when he was in New York was overlooked, especially 2 seasons ago. Not this last season, but the previous season in New York. He's past his prime. He's not that good anymore. Any team that's going to have him really has to hope that he revamps his style, whatever it is. And boy, did he do that. Having Darius Slay, for the most part, follow around number one guys while he was able to play the number 2 or 1A wide receiver, the not as good wide receiver on every team throughout this season. He shined. He certainly shined. And that's what we saw from him throughout this entire season. And yes, I hope all 3 of these guys are back. It just doesn't seem plausible. Even 2 weeks ago, shortly after the Super Bowl, when I was talking about potential guys that wouldn't be here, James Bradberry was one of the number 1 guys on that list. And look, the Eagles over the last 2 years have had now 2 different starting corners opposite Darius Slay. So where do the Eagles go from here? I'm still holding out hope for Hargrave, still holding out hope for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But I don't want to call it a report because it's not a report. And here's where the light could be at the end of the tunnel. There's a story that was written on CBSSports.com yesterday, or 2 days ago, rather, by Cody Benjamin. And this story, here's the headline of it, all right? 2023 NFL trades that should happen. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Those conversations are happening. Kirk Cousins to the 49ers. What? And then other deals as well. The Eagles were under other deals. Now, this is the direction the Eagles could be going with this. Cody Benjamin goes on to write on CBSSports.com, Jalen Ramsey to the Eagles. Okay, you have my attention. I'll read. Now, it would take a 2023 first-round pick, so obviously a first-round pick this year. The Eagles have 2 of them. This would be the later of the 2, the 30th overall pick, and a conditional 4th-round pick. Now, this is a steeper price than what you paid for Darius Slay, which was a 3rd and 5th rounder. Now, you still had to pay Darius Slay. You signed him to a 3-year deal, $30 million of that guaranteed. So that was also for a 2-year older quarterback, as Darius Slay is 2 years older than Jalen Ramsey. So you're getting a 28-year-old Pro Bowler in Jalen Ramsey for a first-rounder. You still keep your 10th overall pick and a conditional 4th-round pick in next year's draft. Okay, you still have my attention. Here's what Cody Benjamin goes on to say. The Rams are finally paying for their all-star investment, shopping Jalen Ramsey 3 years after giving him a record $105 million extension, fresh off his second Super Bowl appearance in 6 seasons. Fresh off his second Super Bowl appearance in 6 seasons. Eagles general manager Howie Roseman loves himself a splashy upgrade, especially in the secondary. And with 2 starters, James Bradberry and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, hitting free agency is essentially swapping them out for a single shutdown complement to Darius Slay in Jalen Ramsey, whose ultra-competitive spirit and swagger would fit right in the Philadelphia market. It would absolutely fit right in here. I think everybody understands that. I think everybody knows that. This makes sense for a lot of reasons. Here's why it doesn't make sense. I hope that's true. I would do that deal. I love that deal. I'd do that deal. It's not a report. It's speculation. It's ideas. But it does put the idea in your head that maybe if 3 guys aren't coming back, 1 guy is coming in. The other name that came to mind was Derrick Henry, and then that quickly ran out as fast as Derrick Henry runs through a defensive line, because the Eagles are never going to spend money at that position. But they have spent money on corner. And that's a bargain deal right now, considering what James Bradberry is about to get on the open market. And if you're not going to be paying Javon Hargrave or CD Deuce, you do at least want to give the fans one nice offseason acquisition. You also want to bolster your secondary yet again. And that would certainly do that. But spending money at the 2 positions, that doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. At both quarterback positions, that doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. Darius Slay, you're getting at a bargain price, and you might be asking him to restructure his deal anyway. Don't know how he's going to take that while the guy next to him is still reaping a $105 million deal. So that'd be an interesting thing. And then the other reason it doesn't make sense is that you really didn't pay James Bradberry this past season. You really didn't pay Steven Nelson the previous season. The opposite corner has always been the bargain deal. So if they were to pull off this Jalen Ramsey deal, does that mean that Darius Slay would then become the bargain corner? Because Jalen Ramsey is not becoming the bargain corner. That's for damn sure, with 3 years still left on his deal. So it's a really interesting play. I could still see it happening. I could still see Howie Roseman pulling it off. If you look at last year, what did they do with one of their first round picks? They traded it for a proven commodity. They made sure they got their guy with their top pick in Jordan Davis, and then they flipped one of their other first round picks to bring in a proven veteran, a proven commodity in what they got in return with A.J. Brown. So that is another tip of the cap, or another lean to the direction of this does make sense and this could actually happen. Now, as someone who is keeping the faith in Howie Roseman, let's ignore the speculation for a second of who could be coming in for the Philadelphia Eagles if they decide not to bring back CD Deuce. Maybe this is CD Deuce's decision as well, but we'll get to that in a second. But if they're not going to bring back any of these three key components to their defense, that was one of the top defenses in the NFL. And Javon Hargrave, who has been a part of one of the top two defenses in the NFL over the last two seasons. If they're not, then yeah, Howie has to go on and have another incredible offseason, and he's got to do it without the luxury of long-term deals that will coincide with a huge, mega long-term deal to his franchise quarterback in Jalen Hurts. How do you make it work? How do you make it make sense? Howie Roseman, this has been his job for a long time. Over the last 7 years, he's rebuilt a team after the Chip Kelly era, put him in the Super Bowl 2 years later. Then 5 years after that Super Bowl victory, had that team back in the Super Bowl, as I mentioned earlier, with a different head coach, different quarterback, and many, many, many different pieces. Where does the team go from here? I think you're still going to see some contract restructures. I think you're going to see an offseason acquisition that does raise your eyebrows. And Jalen Ramsey might not be a bad place to start when it comes to bringing in a proven commodity for another 3 years here in Philadelphia. It's a very interesting thing that we're looking at right now with the Eagles, and I'm not losing the faith. I'm keeping the faith. I had the same thought as you, as many people. When you saw the reports out there about possibly not bringing back any of those three guys, there was the immediate panic. Wait, hold on. I thought these guys were shoo-ins. I thought we were hearing about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Our friend Adam Kaplan was putting it out there, saying that if the Eagles were going to sign a little long-term deal, that he was going to get franchise tagged. Sheer speculation. But the Eagles aren't going to spend money like that on a safety for 1 year, especially when they have so many other guys to re-sign. This would not be the year to franchise tag anyone of all years. And the Eagles, as we know, don't like franchise tagging anyone anyway. But let's just entertain the idea for a second that the Eagles went to Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and said, if we don't work this out, we're gonna tag you. Do you think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson or his camp, speaking to an agent or whatever, do you think they'd be tight-lipped about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's feelings towards the franchise tag? Or do you think they'd be pretty honest? Do you think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, CD Deuce, a guy who trash talks his coaches during practice, a guy that flat out called out his former defensive coordinator saying he didn't put us in great position on social media, do you think he's going to be tight-lipped about how he feels about a franchise tag? So his feeling was probably, if you franchise tag me, I'm going to be a problem. And if you sign me to a long-term deal, let's party. But either way, I'm testing that open market. Think about that for a second. There's not that many great safeties, not that many good safeties in the NFL. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to be a hot commodity on the open market, especially after his first year being back at that safety position. James Bradberry, after the year he had in Philadelphia, getting the Pro Bowl snub and playing in the Super Bowl, being part of the number one passing defense in the NFL, he's going to command a lot of money in the open market. Javon Hargrave, a defensive tackle that gets that kind of push in the middle and can be a pass rusher as well. Oh, yeah. He's going to command a lot of money in the open market. I don't blame any of these three gentlemen for going out there and testing the market. The Eagles are going to be a team, though, that comes in here and I think will at least keep tabs on these players. And I think that if they want to be part of something successful, and I think Jalen Hurts is the biggest draw and the biggest reason why you can look at this Eagles team and say that they're going to be part of something successful if they stay here in Philadelphia. Hey, if they want to go get that bag, as they say, and they want to go take care of their family, good for them, beautiful. But I think the Eagles are still going to be in the mix when it comes to all three of these guys looking at other deals. The other idea is something that I got into yesterday. And this goes along with Marcus Hayes' story about Denard Wilson being let go. And you talk about mutiny. James Bradberry and CD Deuce, upset about no longer having their secondary coach, their defensive backs coach, their passing game coordinator, defensive passing game coordinator. Are they pissed off he didn't get the promotion? James Bradberry, career year. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson goes without saying, career year. They had that under Denard Wilson. Are they loyalists to the cause of Denard Wilson? Is this the reason why they're so public about maybe not coming back here in Philadelphia? Certainly seems like it. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson putting out that beautiful tribute video to Philadelphia saying it's all love, right? Is that a peace sign? Is that shooting the deuces? Is CD Deuce shooting the deuces? I'm out of here. That's what it seems like. The reason could just be the money. The reason could also be, well, wait a minute. I don't have the guy that turned me into a guy that's going to command a lot of money in the open market, a guy that I know I played great under, a guy I know I get along great with. Okay. This is interesting. On the other side of that, on his YouTube channel, Darius Slay, I believe is the Volume YouTube channel, came out in support of the Sean Desai hiring. So, I mean, look, he was here before Denard Wilson. He's now here after Denard Wilson. So we'll see exactly where he lies. It seems like it's just loyal to Howie Roseman. That's all he gives a damn about, the guy that's going to pay him. And the city of Philadelphia, which is great as well. So obviously right now, what I take away from the report yesterday from Adam Schefter is it's definitely cause for concern, but I am remaining confident that Howie Roseman has something else up his sleeve. It's not like Howie Roseman is going to leak something right now. Like, maybe he will. I don't know, but I doubt it. It's not like he's going to come out with a counter report to Adam Schefter and get caught up in that whirlwind. But as of right now, I am not letting this one report start to rain on the parade of Howie Roseman. And as some people would term it, the comeback tour post-Chip Kelly for Howie Roseman. There used to be a moment. There used to be a time where we talked about in so we trust. I know a lot of people talked about in Chip we trust. I know I talked about that a lot back in the day, and that turned out to go bottoms up. I know people always talk about trusting the process, still waiting for the process to get us out of the second round of the playoffs, and hopefully this is the year to do it. But I think right now it's a very real thing to trust in Howie Roseman, and he's got another move up his sleeve if he can't bring back either of these three guys. What's the next move? Because here's the move that I think a lot of people are going to look at it and go, what? If none of these guys come back, if three of these guys are no longer Philadelphia Eagles when free agency opens up next week, but Kazir White is, or TJ Edwards, the Eagles are now signing of TJ Edwards, 5-year deal, whatever. If that happens and you don't bring back, or Isaac Seumalo, who's actually a pretty damn good right guard, a pretty damn good offensive lineman. If you bring back one of those guys and you don't bring back any of the big three free agents of your defensive side of the football, that's going to be a problem. That would get a lot of criticism. I have no doubt about that in my mind. But I am confident, and I trust in Howie Roseman, that he is going to get a deal done, and he is going to make this defense look pretty damn good next season again. That's how I feel about it. Let me tell you about my man Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there on Jewelers Row. For over 40 years, Steven's been in the love business in Philadelphia, helping people get engaged and fall in love. So, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to trusting someone for that beautiful, dazzling diamond, do one thing. Trust Steven Singer in the perfect price. Because while other jewelers like to mark things way up, just to mark them down a couple of bucks in front of you and make you feel like you won something, guess what? They're still making out. But it's Steven Singer. He's taking the hit so you can enjoy the benefits of having that perfect price. And you also get treated like a real family member by a real jewelry expert at the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Let me tell you right now about the amazing people at Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. If you like CBD, if you use CBD, you want to switch up your CBD, you want to try Freestone Farm CBD, how about 20% off when you use promo code Farzy at Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. You'll enjoy the tropical tasting Bayox that clocks into the chart topping 24.1%. And Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Genetics of these guys, they're off the charts. So do what I do. Freestone Farm CBD, FreestoneFarmCBD.com. How about the amazing people at Manscaped, Manscaped.com. Enjoy 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Farzy at Manscaped.com. You'll love their amazing hygiene bundle. Their Platinum Package 4.0 is their best hygiene bundle yet. It includes the 4.0 lawnmower, It also includes the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, and they come with skin-safe technology that helps reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So go to manscaped.com. Manscaped.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's PHLSportsStation.com. Before I get into the chat check, was this the face many of you guys were making yesterday when you saw that report from Adam Schefter? Because if you look at the face here of David Woodley, this was after he was shocked that anyone would say that Dak Prescott needs to raise his game to the level of that of Jalen Hurts. That is a shocking face from Woody. And I know a lot of people had that same kind of face when it came to reading that report yesterday. We'll see how you guys feel about it right now in the comments as we do our chat check. What's going on, people? April, good morning. Kevin, good morning. April, speaking of Howie Roseman, is there going to be an interview with him and Jason on New Heights soon? I thought the same thing, April. Because here's what I think happened. It's the offseason. I think Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce probably want to take some time off. I think that they went to the NFL Combine and they stacked interviews. I think they stacked content. That's what I think happened. And you know what they did after that? They took a vacation. So I don't know when the Howie Roseman thing is coming out yet. I had that same thought yesterday. But I am very much looking forward to any information that comes out of that interview. Howie won't let all three go, would be crucified. It's quite possible. Mike Fuji, what's up? Good morning. Happy Thursday. Fuji, CD Deuce is a must. Here's what's so damn upsetting about it. It's that we thought for the last 3 weeks that Chauncey, really since the end of the year, like the regular season even, that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was coming back. Adam Kaplan put it out there that he's the number one priority. Other people had that out there as well, that he was the number one priority. Bring him back as your safety, which I thought was a little surprising because, again, the Eagles always invest in the line of scrimmage, and Javon Hargrave is the guy that plays in the line of scrimmage. So when I looked at that, I thought, okay, that is interesting. But the consensus has been the number one priority is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. For him to come out before any other report, because remember the order of this, remember the chronology of this. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson puts out the report, then Adam Schefter puts out the report. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson puts out the tweet saying, all love Philly. Then Adam Schefter comes out and says, all three guys aren't expected to come back. That is eyebrow raising. What prompted Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to come out and put it out there? And then the writing's also on the wall, as I got into yesterday, when you talk about how he had no problem with going out there after Jonathan Gannon was addressing the media as the head coach of the Cardinals, talking about the Super Bowl, and said, "Why didn't you play well? The second half we didn't play well. The second half we didn't do a good job. Whatever." Chauncey Gardner-Johnson quotes the tweet and says, "Yeah, you didn't put us in a good position to win." That's a guy who doesn't give a damn. That's a guy who's most likely not coming back in Philadelphia. Later deleted the tweet. Maybe that's, I don't know, an encouraging sign that he comes back. I don't know. Sean Gillespie, good morning, Sean. Morning to you. Terrence Hill, what's up, Terrence? How you doing? We can't let go of CD Deuce. He brings the good vibes to the team. I think so. Fuji, I'd take Ramsey. We gave up a first rounder and third rounder for A.J. Brown last year. Yes, we did. We absolutely did. Fuji, Howie needs to draft a top cornerback for years to come. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I did look, especially with Javon Hargrave, for instance. I mean, the guys that are predicted to go or projected to go in the top 10 that are defensive linemen are guys that are edge rushers, Miles Murphy and Jalen Carter. They're both versatile, Murphy being more of an edge rusher than Jalen Carter, but they're both very versatile guys. So what's the plan? What's the goal here? Quarterback that could definitely go in that direction. Christian Gonzalez is a guy that could definitely go after. Joey Porter Jr., another guy that could go after at the quarterback position. They could save money there, of course, have to pay more money later. So there's a lot of versatility. They could trade back, which I know nobody wants to hear, but in terms of saving money, maybe that's the way they go. There's a lot of different options here for the Eagles. And, of course, Howie Roseman is going to explore every single option, no question. Hey! Christian Gonzalez goes up to number 5. It could happen. It could happen, PJ. Terrence, we got to draft someone in the nickel position if we're losing CD Deuce, or shop the market when when free agency starts. Yeah, I think all that's going to happen. April, this is generally your resting face. That's hilarious. Mine is definitely more of a scowl. Definitely more of a scowl than that. I believe they would term my resting face the resting bitch face, I believe is what I would have going on there, which is a great term that's come out. I heard Sebastian Maniscalco talk about it once where his wife said, when you just look, your resting face looks like you're going to kill several people. That's hilarious. Terrence, so we got to draft somebody in the nickel position for losing CD Deuce or shop the market. Yes, I agree. We talked about that. Read all the words, laugh out loud. They definitely already did the interviews. They played a clip of it, and it was hilarious. Damn it. Sean Gillespie, that's my face now. Weeks later after the Super Bowl loss. Still, Sean, that's how you look? Terrence Hill, Mark, did you watch Saturday Night Live with Travis Kelce, his brother? Travis Kelce and his brother. It's Jason Kelce and his brother. Anyway, last Saturday. Yes, I did talk about it on the show, Terrence. I thought it was great. I haven't sat down and watched Saturday Night Live with great anticipation in I don't know how long. I'll watch clips of it now on social media, but I very rarely sit down at 11:30, 11:35 on Saturday night and watch Saturday Night Live like I used to as a loyalist for 20 years. But I appointment viewing. I watched the Sixers beat the Bucks. Stayed up a little later. Watched Travis Kelce crush it. Crushed it. Watched Jason audience crush it. Watched Jason Kelce make his way into a sketch, crush it. And then the deleted sketch that actually ended up getting aired on social media anyway, phenomenal, hilarious. It was great. It's one of the best SNL episodes I can remember in recent times. Post Will Ferrell, post Beck Bennett, phenomenal job. They crushed it. Update was great. The sketches after update were great. The opening sketch thing, first off, the monologue was clutch. He did a great monologue. And then the American Doll Tea Party, whatever the hell that was, I didn't even know that thing existed, but apparently that's a thing in New York. It was great. It was great. I was laughing my ass off the entire time. So it was phenomenal. PJ saved his brother? April, right? Say his name. It's Jason Kelce. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, I have I think I told you guys this earlier. But thanks everyone in the chat. You guys are great as per usual. Let's get into the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Oh my goodness gracious, Flyers news. Tony D'Angelo. What the hell were you thinking? What the hell were you thinking? 2-game suspension for a blatant poke of the groin? And 2 nights ago's loss to the Lightning. Nice job there, pal. Flyers are going to be back on the ice tonight without Tony D'Angelo. 7 o'clock puck drop tonight in Carolina against the Hurricanes. Sixers off tonight. They're back at it against the Portland Trailblazers tomorrow. I'll be at that game. Looking forward to that. 7 o'clock tip-off tomorrow night. Blazers fell hard to the Celtics last night, unfortunately, for the Sixers. So now you're going to get a more amped up Damian Lillard and Matisse Thybulle deal on Friday night. But also the Celtics get another victory while the Sixers have an off day. That affects the NBA standings, of course, in the Eastern Conference. Sixers right now full 2 games behind the Boston Celtics for second in the Eastern Conference, 4 games behind the Milwaukee Bucks for the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. So that's what we're looking at right now. But as far as that Boston game went last night, Boston finally got a very convincing win there after some tight battles. They lost 3 in a row. One to the Brooklyn Nets, the other to the New York Knicks. That was a 2-point game. And then they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers 118-114, which also affects the NBA standings as the Cavs are right behind the Sixers. But they get the win over the Blazers last night, a dominant win, 115-93. Jason Tatum dropped in 30 points to help the Sixers in that win. Here's what I wanted to get to, and this is really special. By the way, the Celtics are now off until Saturday when they play the Hawks. I am hosting the Maxwell Football Club Awards Gala tonight. It's an award show honoring all the best college athletes and the best coaches and the best coaches in the NFL and the best players in the NFL. I am hosting that award show, that awards program tonight at the Mohegan Sun in Mohegan, Pennsylvania. And I could not be more excited. I am absolutely thrilled. It's right up there by Wilkes-Barre. It's a tremendous honor. And I was at the rehearsal yesterday, and they had a great welcome ceremony for people. For Jalen Hurts was in the building. I believe Nick Sirianni was in the building. I believe Howie Roseman is going to be in the building tonight. So we'll see if any news comes out of this event tonight with Howie Roseman and whatnot. If it does, we will do a show tomorrow from my hotel. If it doesn't, we'll probably just take the day off. So PJ, I'm telling you that right now, we might take an off day tomorrow. But that's where we'll be. That's where I'll be tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. It's a tremendous honor. People over at Jacob Media that I'm fortunate enough to host the Eagles pregame show for, along with Seth Joyner and Derek Gunn, and then do the halftime hit with my friend Devin Caney. Devin Caney will also be part of the presentation tonight as one of my co-hosts. So I really look forward to that. As a kid, I always loved watching like Billy Crystal host the Oscars, right? And I know that takes some of you in the chat way back, okay? But this is kind of how I'm viewing that. It's a tremendous honor to do this. And reading the names just in the rehearsal last night, Joe Klecko is getting a Legends Award, Temple University's own Joe Klecko from the New York Jets. What I didn't know going into this, before stats were recorded in the NFL, Joe Klecko is credited by Pro Football Reference as a guy with 20 and a half sacks in a season. In 1981, the year before stats became official in the NFL. How incredible is that? I didn't know that. Ray Didinger will be there tonight as well. Ray was actually there last night while I was in the middle of my opening monologue, and Ray just gave me the wave from the back, gave Ray the old salute. So that's where I'll be at tonight, and I'm really looking forward to that because it's such an incredible thing. Jalen Hurts will be there tonight. He's winning an award. They know they're winning the awards, by the way. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm really, really looking forward to doing that tonight, and it's a tremendous honor. So most likely no show tomorrow. Just letting you guys know that. Because I'll still be up at the Poconos because the event's going to run late. Thanks, everybody. You guys are great as per usual. Be back with you guys tomorrow, hopefully talking about be back with you guys Monday, hopefully talking about some very encouraging things that come out over the weekend and tomorrow when it comes to what's going down with the Philadelphia Eagles and free agency. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Jim Hyden produced the program, did a wonderful job, even though I know he was up probably late watching the World Baseball Classic. And everyone was great. Thank you, guys. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. My name is Mark Farzetta. Talk to you guys on Monday. See you.